Hello, and welcome back to What If Deku had All for One, Part 5. So, after last part, where Izuku completely fucking obliterated Yue, raided that bitch, all that bullshit. So, now everyone's like on their heels, right? Everyone's on their toes. You got the whole world shaking. The top two heroes are gone. Now it's just Hawks. He gets moved to number one. Stain is still out there. Uh, Now that UA is gone, All Might is not there, Endeavor's not there. So, All for One decides to he goes crazy. He's like, okay, well, if All Might's not here right now, I guess it's time to show myself. I guess I don't really have to worry about anything no more. He's probably dead. So now All for One's the League of Villains is now completely open. They're not hidden anymore. They're not anything. Uh, Overhaul starts making moves, like, cause he's up there now. And then we also see fucking I'm assuming the Liberation Army. Yeah, the Liberation Army is now up there. Uh, and they're in the public now because they don't have to deal with UA anymore. So everyone's like been out. The military, like the national military, is completely going haywire. The the senator, the president, or the prime minister, whatever the fuck that they have in Japan, he's very concerned, and they think that terrorists have invaded another country. There might be a war on the horizon between countries because no Hue just doesn't blow up like that. But they don't know anything about Izuku yet. So now it's mass chaos and sheer panic. So Izuku, right? He doesn't give a fuck. He knows about this info, but he doesn't care. After Izuku went to his mansion, Izuku is now chilling, right? And he was like, he just since he got Nez's quirk, right? He has high brain power. He meditates for 3 hours because he needs to think everything through. This is going to be one of the major turning points in the story. This is because this is the time where Deku absorbs so many quirks, right? That he's going to need for later. And, I'm not going to remember probably all these quirks, but I will look back in the old videos and I'll state them and what happens to them later in certain parts. Uh, but, most of these quirks are going to be needed, but not all of these quirks are going to be necessarily used. And I'm going to try to make this creative by still trying to apply the rules of My Hero Academia logic. So, Izuku's now thinking. Izuku's meditating. Since he has the whole body manipulation quirk, and he has Kaminari's quirk and everything, and Nez's brain quirk, he uses water quirk as well. So he controls his blood. He does like Gear Second, like he did with Luffy. He controls his blood, and he adds Kaminari's lightning on top of that. So he makes himself pump really, really, really fast. Now, Deku, that's the thing. Deku's organs are not made out of rubber, right? They can regenerate really fast. So this is very, very painful for him. Deku's thinking. He needs to think of everything situation because this is where everything's gonna go down, like right here, this moment. And as Deku is meditating for 3 hours, he looks up and he's like, "Okay, so that's the plan. I've thought of a lot of possible outcomes, like Doctor Strange, and there's only a few where I win, but one of them is where I literally rule the world and become the god. Only one." So Izuku now heads out. And he's like, To start that plan, the first thing I need to do is add a distraction for the officials. So Izuku, right? He he activates what's it called? One for all, everything. He, better yet, doesn't even need an activation. It's pretty much fucking passive now. So Izuku goes to Tartarus, right? And Izuku breaks everyone out. Izuku kills all the guards. He breaks everyone out. All the prisoners are running free. And then he leaves. But yet Izuku, on the other hand, he didn't erase any of his traces. He didn't like get the cameras out. And he did that on purpose. See, they caught what he looks like now. No mask or anything. But he wanted that on purpose. But they're not going to know until a little bit later. News has spread that Tartarus, all the prisoners broke out and are now on the loose. Now the military is even more concerned. And now the cops are even more concerned. Everyone's in high radar. Along with this, All for One hears about this, and now he thinks that if the cops are going to be looking for more things, he could do a lot more things now, like in the shadows, and get away with it. He could take more risks. Same thing with Overhaul and any other of the villains out there. Same thing with Stain, right? So now the villains are enthralled by all the chaos and the distractions. Now they have more freedom, while everyone else has been keeping busy. They don't have to worry about too many heroes because Yue is gone. In this moment, Deku, right? He goes to his mom's house, right? And he's there, and he's like, "Mother," and he's like, "Izuku, I had a feeling it was you." He's like, "What do you mean? You're the one that's been causing this chaos, aren't you?" "I don't know what you're talking about, Mother." "Don't lie to me, son. Don't lie to me. Look at you. You've been looking different, and now look at your eyes. They're evil. I tried to call Abako and Mitsuki. They haven't been answering. You did something, didn't you? I just know you did. That smirk you gave me, that evil grin. Ever since you've been changing, getting bigger, getting happier. The world has been thrown into chaos. I don't know what's happening. You don't want to be a hero no more? Something's wrong. You're living on your own now? Nah, something is not adding up." He's like, "You're right, Mother. I am causing all this. I killed All Might." Inko has just jaw drops. She's frozen in fear. "I killed Endeavor. I killed lots of people. I blew up UA. I'm taking their quirks and their vitality. And I killed lots of heroes. You think I really give a fuck about this world anymore? Being a hero? It gives me nothing. Nah, I want power. I want to rule this world. I want to become the new god. I want everything to crumble before me. See, I've realized something. Justice, they say good, bad, justice. But no one knows what true justice is. You know why? Because justice is the one who wins in the end. That's what justice is. And the one who wins doesn't call himself good and evil. They call themselves justice. So I will win, and I will become true justice. I will become a monarch of humanity, the god of this world. And I will rule it for eternity. I don't care how many bodies I have to go through to get that. I'm done. I'm absolutely finished. This world broke me. God God gave power to all these stupid mortals, all these stupid humans, and look what they treated. Look how they treat their kind. I was born quirkless. Had nothing. And look how they treated me. Abused me, bullied me. You couldn't even do nothing. I don't even know where my dad is at this point. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if he left me because I didn't have a quirk. It doesn't matter though. Because soon enough, I thought of an idea. I'm going to remove everyone's quirk. From this whole world, I'm going to remove all their quirks. And I'm going to put them into me. I'm going to be known as the quirk. Me, Izuku Midoriya. Deku is going to be known as power. No longer a quirk. I am going to be known as power. The symbol of power. The symbol of domination. That is me. No one will be able to stand against me. No one would dare challenge me. That is the life I strive for. I will rule for eternity. I will never die. My spirit will live long. My soul will live long. Inside of my mortal body, I will never succumb to death. I will rule this world for thousands and thousands of years, eons, if you take it. And I don't care. You, Mother, on the other hand, are now my enemy. I could see that look in your eyes of disdain and hate. But it's okay, Mother. You're gonna die just like the rest. And I will take your quirk as well. Because you see, Mother, in a couple of years, I will forget who you were entirely. And Deku grabs his Inko's head, slams him on the ground, and just drains her of quirk and vitality. He's like, sayonara, Inko, and leaves. Deku now runs out, and he's like, so. And he's like, the next part, I have to try to find All for One, the original. But there's something been bothering me lately. With the vitality, absorbing quirks is not an issue. The problem is combining quirks. The more quirks I combined, the more harder it starts to get. I don't know how the original All for One does it. Maybe his things are different, but when I combine my quirks, I have to forcefully look into my soul and keep it with my willpower. The only reason I'm able to do it with so many is because my rage is strong. But it hurts like hell. Every time I use a quirk like that, it's like getting stung by a bullet ant. It hurts. It hurts so much. Body manipulation, which has around 3 quirks. And the way I use it, it's terrible. 2 quirks or more already hard enough as it is to control, but the more you use it, along with One for All, which is passively, it gets harder. With vitality absorption and everything, it's easier. I am more durable. I can handle this. I won't die. But the problem is I am not limited. Instead of not being able to live until 40, I don't think I'll make it past 80. And I might start aging soon again. I don't want that. I do not want that at all. So I need to think very carefully. I have an idea. The only thing that's bothering me now is mutation quirks. Any other quirk like this, which is able to be controlled, is hard, but passive mutation quirks are probably the hardest to control. I need to scour the land and find something useful for me. I need to find a better quirk. At least maybe instant regeneration. Who knows? So now Deku scours the land, and he sees it, and he goes to what's it called? One of the hospital camps for the UA survivors, and he breaks in for 2 people. He goes to Tenya Ida, and he's like, Tenya Ida, so you're here too, along with Shoto Todoroki. Who the hell are you? I am Legion. I never heard of you. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Well, you're gonna die anyway. See, I'm the one who did this. I killed your brother, Todoroki. I killed your father. I killed a lot of people, and I blew up UA, even the top heroes. I am the New World Order. He's like, I just wanted to know that. I just wanted to let you know that before your death. And Ida now looks at him with rage. You fucking. And then all of a sudden, he takes Ida's quirk. And he's like, good. This will add on to a Genium's abilities. But he takes Todoroki by the neck. He breaks all of his like body parts and everything in his bones. Now Todoroki can't really do anything. And he's like, and since he has Eraser from Aizawa when he got UA, Todoroki can't use his quirk. And he's like, come, Todoroki. I'm going to need you to do something for me. And he goes to his house because he figures out where he lives. He goes to his house and he's like, the Todoroki fortune. I'm going to need that too. Especially for what I'm about to do. He goes in there. He kills all of Todoroki's family members. Natsuo, everybody in front of him. Todoroki is now shocked and completely angry. But he can't do anything. And what's it called? And Deku looks at Todoroki and he's like, half hot, half cold, huh? That's useful. I'm gonna need that too. He rips out Todoroki's quirk, but he's still alive. He's like, you're still alive. I thought I would take your vitality too, huh? Well, no matter. Here, have this. And he lifts Todoroki up with telekinesis. And he basically Homelanders him. His black and red eyes shine. And like a black and red like laser beam come out of his eyes because of the naval laser, right? It's not naval. He can make it to wherever he wants because body manipulation. He makes it come out of his eyes and he burns Todoroki. Straight up destroys him like Superman, like Homelander. He just burns him, like incinerates him slowly and painfully. And he's like, useless. And he just leaves. So, and in the chaos, right? The military has declared patrolling throughout Japan. And because of this, and since most of the heroes are now dead, no one's making most investigations. And Izuku doesn't really care if they do, because, Izuku is fucking strong. So they're not going to risk doing shit like that. And he's already caught. So what Izuku does is, he goes and he takes the money, all the fortune of Todoroki, and he puts it into his account. Like, all of Endeavor's fortunes into his account. Endeavor's agency catch wind of this, but what are they gonna fucking do? They're being bankrupt already because Endeavor died, and now his family died. The only ones alive now is Todoroki's mother. But after learning that all her kids are dead, she then kills herself because she has nothing to live for anymore. You know, she was already in therapy due to her husband, but now it's nothing. She wants to join a family again. So after that, Izuku gives no fucks about anything. Izuku leaves. He takes all the fortune. And then he's scouring the city. He's like, okay. And he goes and he sees, like, because he can sense, like NL, like he can sense like electrical signals to the Kaminari's quirk and his X-ray. He like expands it. He has like a full 360-degree view, like kind of like Byakugan or some shit, right? Because one for all enhancement and body manipulation, blah blah. he goes to it, and he sees like a quirkless kid, right? A quirkless kid being bullied and everything, being treated like shit, and he's like, you know what? Fuck this. I have an idea. He goes in there. He kills everyone who bullied the quirkless kid. He takes the quirkless kid, you know. Uh, and then he's like, okay, this is gonna be a part of my plan. He knocks him out. And then he goes to the quirkless kid and he's like, boy, wake up. Gets him in the mansion. He's like, oh my god, you are you're a Legion. Oh, they found me from Tartarus already? Yeah, you're the one who said I am Legion, and then you broke everyone out of the cells. Yeah, I did do that. So they found me, huh? Good. Listen, I'm gonna take over this world. And he's like, why did you kidnap me? You gonna torture me too? And he's like, why would I do that? I used to be quirkless, just like you. The quirkless kid now looks up to him in shock and admiration. He's like, what? Yeah, or so I thought I was quirkless. Unfortunately, I wasn't. I was a late bloomer. I had the ability to steal people's quirks, so I didn't have one myself until I got it later, along with their vitality. But enough about me. I have already defeated a lot of heroes like All Might, Endeavor, you name it. I blew up UA. I'm the reason for all this. I'm going for total world domination. And you know what? A lot of sacrifices has been made. A lot of them. A lot of people get in my way, even my own family, my own friends. And I'm thinking, if I'm going to take over this world, I'm going to need an army too, no matter how strong I get. So, in doing so, I'm going to need you to do something for me. The only people in this world that are going to have quirks are going to be the quirkless. I will take out every single one of these. Every single one who has a quirk, I will absorb them. And every single person who didn't have a quirk, I will give it to them. And then we will rule the new world together. And that's how it will be. And the quirkless kid is like memorized. He's like, whoa, that's amazing. He's like, yeah. What's your name? My name is Samuel. He's like, Samuel, you're going to be my right-hand man. I'm going to give you a quirk. A couple quirks, actually. The issue is you might die. And you might not live until like 40. He's like, you think I care how long I live? 40? Until 40? That's a good amount of time as any. I could care less. I've been suffering my whole life. I'm only 15 years old. And I've been suffering. You're around the same age as me, right? You're 15. You're 15 too? 16, actually. But that's besides the point. He's like, you look like you're 25. I know. And I'm going to be looking like that for eons. Now listen, regardless of me, I'm going to give you a couple quirks. You're going to need to stay in contact with me. What you're going to do is you're going to find a lot of quirkless people. This world does not like quirkless people. So it's not going to be hard to get them to our side, you know. If we need to manipulate them, we will. Because, I mean, it's way easier against quirkless people. A lot of them will come to us willingly, but a very 1% will not. You're going to scour Japan. You're going to find out. He's like, but how will I do this? Well, that's the thing. I'm going to give you a couple quirks. All right, so I'm going to give you this. Here, you're going to have Nezu's quirk. You're going to have Todoroki's quirk. Half hot, half cold. You're going to have his quirk. So that if you overheat, you can cool yourself down. If you too cold, you can warm yourself up. You're gonna have that, along with a high IQ, and you're gonna scour the lands, right? And you're gonna look around. If you need for backup, call me immediately. And so that's what he does. So now Samuel is looking around. He has Todoroki's quirk and Nezu's intelligence. Now you might think, why the hell did Deku give Nezu's IQ to what's it called, Samuel? Because Deku already thought of all the plans he needed. He was already smart enough as it is. He just needed an extra kick that Nezu had. So since he memorized all that and thought of everything, he knew what was going to happen. So regardless, he gives him the quirks so that he can be more smarter to use his abilities and to look for the people. So Samuel now goes away. He scours the land. He knows how to use his abilities. He's training himself a little bit more. Izuku trained him for like a week and shit like that. He got him used to his quirk. And so he left. After that, Izuku goes and he finds out that they're trying to build a new UA. But so they need more funding. And that's a good thing. So Izuku, he goes to, because the people who want to rebuild UA is the Liberation Army. See, the Liberation Army, now that UA is gone, the public is looking towards them, and they want to build their own version of heroes. So they're building not UA, they're building LA. Liberation Army, the best school, like, and that's the thing. They need funding. Izuku looks at this and he's like, I can use that. Izuku contacts the leader, the motherfucker with the long nose, right? He contacts him anonymously. He's like, yo, I'll give you 20 million if you do me this favor. I need you to build me something. I need you to build me, what's it called? A certain, how I could say, how about give me a certain transportation device? Like a plane. But a plane that goes into like a car and stuff like that. And a boat. You know, kind of like that. Like Green Hornet vehicle or James Bond kind of vehicle. Something like that. They say, okay, bet. And since the Liberation Army has now support amongst the public and they have good like workers who are there, like they have the bitch that works with the mechanics there, May or some shit, along helping them out with other people that are supporting them. You know, this is how it is. They haven't met up face to face yet, and Deku wants to keep it that way because the Liberation Army really needs to gain trust from the public to to get money. And they now have a large sum and they need to do a favor for one anonymous donor. So after that, Deku still has a lot of fucking money, by the way. Because Endeavor, way more popular than fucking Ida's family. Deku has at least like a billion by now. A billion. Yeah, Deku's not running out of money anytime soon. Now, the UA students who don't want to wait for the new UA or LA building to be repaired, what they do is they go to Shiketsu. Deku hears about this and he raids Shiketsu. He goes to Shiketsu and he finds anyone who used to work at UA. He finds Shoji, takes his body quirk. He goes to Momo Yayorozu, takes her quirk. Right? Along with their information, he goes to a lot of people. He goes to anyone he can really find in Shiketsu. He takes the wind guy's quirk. Yeah, the air guy, the one who hits himself in the head. He takes his fucking quirk. And I don't really know anyone else from Shiketsu, so after that he just burns that fucking bitch to the ground. He burns it all up and destroys it. Now Deku's pretty stacked. Deku's gonna combine most of his air quirks together and everything. And he's like, okay, good. So now, one of the major schools are now gone. UA and Shiketsu are now gone. So mostly they're going to be waiting for this LA building, the Liberation Army School, the new headquarters, which is more heavily defended and guarded from Legion, because they think Legion is the one who did this. And they're right. They don't know who Legion is. They don't know his true identity, because Deku looks a lot different than what he did before he awakened his quirk. A lot bigger, a lot stronger, taller, jacked. And he has a lot more power and does a lot more different things. He's too smarter, too. So, they don't know anything about it. So, they then, after Deku blows up, he goes to Yayorozu's house. He kills Yayorozu's entire family. Now that the Yayorozus are dead, something happens. They found out that most of the rich people are now dying. And so that scares the public even more, because if the rich people are dying, not a lot of people are going to get their money. So now this keeps everyone else on their toes as well. And this also decreases guarding in some certain areas. This is going to be used to Izuku's more favor, because now that no one's funding people to guard certain places or to get certain weapons or materials or resources, this is going to be easy pickings for Izuku. Izuku now even has more money. Let's say he gets what? Momo had like creation, right? She could probably make a lot of shit. So I'm guessing fucking Izuku now has around 5 billion or some shit. Right? So what? He got Ida's fortune. He got Endeavor's fortune. He has Yayorozu's fortune. He couldn't get All Might's fortune because All Might his fortune was heavily guarded, and because he was the number one and the symbol of peace, he had people looking out for him. So it would be too risky for him to go after All Might's fortune. So he didn't do that. He let them stay there. But that remainder of money that they had, it didn't do shit. So the Liberation Army has become more desperate because one of their clients, the Yayorozus, are now gone off the fucking radar. So the leader is now pissed. So, what's it called? Overhaul looks at this as very great. Overhaul is now kidnapping more kids and people so he can experiment with Eri. And this is when Izuku takes his plan. Izuku wanders and he sees Eri escape again. And he's like, what the fuck? And he sees and he's like, oh shit, is that a villain? He sees Overhaul trying to kidnap Eri and he's like, what are you doing? And he's like, what's it to you? And then he looks around and he sees Legion. He's like, Overhaul shits himself. Overhaul's like, oh fuck. Holy fuck. Okay. He shits himself. Overhaul knows damn well there's no fucking way he's gonna beat Legion. There's no fucking way he's gonna beat Legion. Because Overhaul isn't stupid. If he can break into Tartarus look at the camera, declare who he is on purpose, and get out, and no one follows him, he knows that he had something to do with the disappearance of the top two heroes. He knows he had something to do with it. So the same thing can be said for All for One, who is even more smarter. So Overhaul is now fucking scared. He's like, Legion. He's like, yeah. Oh, what are you doing with this girl? And he's like, and Overhaul, he knows that Deku is a villain in this. And he's like, okay, you want to know honestly? I'm experimenting with a quirk to make quirk erasing bullets. Deku takes interest in this. He's like, really? Quirk erasing bullets? Interesting. I'm trying to get rid of quirks myself. Overhaul now looks happy. If he has Legion helping him out, he's definitely going to win. He's like, interesting. What's Aries' quirk? Rewind. Elaborate. She can rewind time and any effects that happened. Deku's jaw drops. He goes to Air and he's like, interesting. And he absorbs her. He literally absorbs her quirk and kills Aerie in the process. Overhaul is mad. He's like, what'd you do? And he's like, her quirk is mine now. And I don't need a horn to use it. And so Overhaul's like, but that was our one plan. He's like, it's mine. Trust me. What's your quirk again? And our Overhaul's quirk is like to atomize. He can heal. He can destroy shit. He can absorb people into him. So he can do a lot of fucking things. And he's like, that's my ability. And he's like, so if you touch somebody, they die, right? And he's like, how fast does it work? Pretty much instant. Really? I guess I'll be taking that. Overhaul's like, no, you're not. And as he tries to hit Deku, right? He grabs him, but Deku just looks down on him. And Overhaul shits himself. Like, he's like, how are you not exploding? Did you really think I'm going to explode from something like that? And so, he looks at him, and the thing is, because Deku's eyes are black and red, you can't tell when he's using the eraser, when he's erasing your quirk or not. So that's the thing. He was erasing his quirk while he was looking at him, but he's absorbing the essence. So now Overhaul, he fucking dies, right? But he doesn't die because of the vitality. He gets his quirk absorbed, and then Deku's like, like this, and he touches Overhaul, and he just explodes, and he's like, atomization, interesting. This is gonna be very handy. It's like, strange. I don't know if this is a bad thing, but now that I'm absorbing more quirks, I'm absorbing less of people's vitality. Most of them are surviving. That's not good. Well, no matter. As long as the plan still engages, I'm going to win. So now he goes to Overhaul, and he destroys the situation, and all the villains are left free. Now, the villains are left. They roam about, scavenge, along with the prisoners. All for One comes out of hiding. He's making a lot more no moves because he's capturing people a lot more now. So Deku, All for One decides to launch an attack on the military, right? And a bunch of monsters have been spawned. A bunch of no-moves. The military is getting overwhelmed, but then Deku looks at this, he's like, so these weird monsters with their brains exposed. They're flying, they have regeneration. This is the original All for One, right? Interesting. He goes to it, and he scans the area, and he sees Shigaraki and Kurogiri on a rooftop from far away, and he's like, so those are the two, right? He instantly sprints towards them. He's like, hey, are you two related to All for One? And Shigaraki's like, what the hell? Who is it to you? But then all of a sudden, Deku grabs Shigaraki, absorbs his whole quirk, and he fucking dies. He's like, his vitality was very interesting. It's like he had none at the same time. So pretty much now he has decay with him. And it's not like a passive thing where, oh, you touch somebody, they explode or they decay. No. Izuku can control it because he has multiple quirks and body manipulation, along with the atom thing and Shoji's fucking ability where he can control his arms. Dude, Deku has a lot more control than people think, right? So none of these are passive. The only thing that's passive is the one for all, and that's the thing. Whenever he uses Black Whip or some shit, I'm not gonna say it like Black Whip. I'm just gonna say he's using one for all because Black Whip is a part of one for all, and I'm not gonna be able to I'm not gonna categorize each other individual quirk that besides one for all. I'm not gonna fucking do that shit. So the only thing that's passive is one for all, and it makes sense since it has like fucking like 8-9 users in there. It's a lot. And this is the final user. It's a singularity, so it might as well be called one for all. I'm pretty sure Deku can't even pass it on in the canon manga as well. But whatever. I don't know too much about My Hero because I'm not really watching it as much anymore. But because it just got dry. It just got dry and shit, and it's becoming like fucking boring. But I catch up with certain parts, like with Shigaraki's awakening and shit. I catch up with that. But enough about that. We go back to the story. Kurigiri's there, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And uh, he takes Kurigiri. He grabs him because he can see the metal plate. He grabs the metal plate, and he starts absorbing Kurigiri's quirk. Now he can teleport. But that's the thing. After he absorbs Kurigiri's quirk, he starts to hurt a lot. He's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And instead of having like a black and purplish mist, he has like a black and red like mist try to come off of him, out of his skin. But he puts it inside of his body. He's like, mutation quirks are the hardest to control. They're rampant. Ugh. He starts shaking a bit. And he's like, this isn't good. I don't know how long I keep going through this. I need to get All for One's ability now. He teleports to where like the portal was there. Because the portal was still there for Kurigiri, right? He basically absorbed him after he went through the portal to escape to All for One's lair. And he's like, a bar, huh? So Kurigiri's corpse is in the bar now. And he turns around and Dabi's there, Toga's there, and he looks around, he's like, And Dabi and Toga are now completely wide-eyed. Legion just stepped through with Shigaraki's missing, Kurigiri's fucking dead. Dabi's like, oh shit. Toga is even more afraid. Because what is Toga gonna do? Be fucking real. What is Toga gonna do? Toga's like, she's in shock. Dabi, he tries to explode. He's like, oh shit. As soon as Deku even sees the blue flame, he instantly erases, takes Dabi's quirk, rips it out of him. And all of a sudden he looks at Toga and he's like, you want to try something too? Toga's like, no. And he's like, good. Tell me. Where's And before Deku goes to All for One, he's like, where's All for One? And Toga's like, I don't know about the boss. He goes out most of the time. And he's like, interesting. Do you know where the Nomus are at, or the little beasts? Do you know where the little like beasts are at? And she's like, the Nomus. Is that what you call it? Yeah, they're here. Come, follow me. And he goes around. He's like, if you try anything stupid, I will kill you. And now Toga's shaking in fear. And, she goes around. She takes him to the lair. She's like, so these are all the Nomus, huh? And Toga, she's like, yeah, but you forgot one thing. You should have never come here. She activates a trap, releases all the Nomus at once, but Deku's like, you must be stupid. He takes all the Nomus that were there and he absorbs all of their quirks, but only the good ones. Like he takes the original Nomu with the strength, the shock absorption, and fucking regeneration. He gets that shit, and he really needs that. He definitely has like instant regeneration now. He has that shit because that's way too fucking fast now. It's like fucking instantaneous regeneration. Uh, it's super duper fucking fast, and so now Toga's even more shocked because she just made him way too fucking strong. And with the shock absorption, he can take a lot more now from the pain of having mutation quirks. So he's like, good, 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 good. And you know, regardless, the other Nomus, they just die, lose their vitality. Deku's not a fucking idiot, so he hits the brains. And he's like, good, good, good. And he takes it, he's like, you know, I would be mad, but I actually got something good out of it. Now, I guess you're of no use to me, huh? Toga's like, wait, please, I'll do anything to live. And Deku's like, anything, huh? Yes, please, don't kill me. Toga's thinking, she's like, damn it. Oh, fuck. How am I gonna live through this? I need to catch him off guard. And he's like, anything, huh? Deku whips out his cock. Toga, now her eyes lose color. She's like, no, 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 please, please, don't do this, don't do this. He's like, suck it now. No, ah! And then all of a sudden, Toga is now getting deep throated by Deku. And Deku's like, oh yeah, right there. He's like, making all these sounds. You just hear him through the fucking room. Oh yeah, that's good. And he's like, yeah. He's like, and he busts a major fucking load. He's like, oh. Toga's face is now white like a hollow mask. She's fucking blasting. She's like, whoa, you managed to swallow the load well, even though you're a little bit messy. Guess you had some experience. She's like, Toga's like, no, that was my first. Really? What's your quirk? I drink people's blood and I could turn into them. Their identities? Yeah. Good. I'm gonna need that too. So then, Deku takes her, absorbs her quirk. Now Deku just made Toga deep throat him and take her quirk. And you know, that's just how it goes. After that, you know, Deku leaves and he's like, what a nice day. So he's leaving. But guess who comes back? All for One comes back. At the perfect moment, he's like, oh shit! What a surprise! I already killed your people over here. You have no subordinates left. All for One is now very pissed. All for One's like, stupid brat. He takes Deku and he fucking punches him. He does his like big arm shit, and Deku's like, please, you're not gonna do anything. He punches him hard as a fucking rock. Boom, tosses him, explodes the land. And he's like, oh shit. Oh shit. This isn't good. This is not good at all. And he's like, you know what? I'm guessing you're the one who killed All Might, right? And I heard you have the same type of quirk as I do. Multiples. He's like, That's why my Nomu look like that. There can only be one, and I'm the one who will rule it. So Deku is like, oh shit. And he's gonna have to box all for one while everyone is watching, because now the military is on high alert. They're surrounding him with APCs, Blackhawks, fucking everything. Most of the heroes show up and they see Legion, and then they see All for One dueling it out. And All for One is fucking stronger because he took most of the quirks back that he was gonna raid. He's like, like he's boxing Deku, and he's whooping Deku's ass. Like, because All for One has experience, but Deku with One for All and a bunch of quirks is surviving with his regen and shock absorption. So, and Deku's like, oh man, I let my guard down. And All for One tries to absorb his quirk, right? But before he does, Deku uses Eraser Eyes, and he gets out. He's like, bastard, you're trying to get me, aren't you? And he's like, I'm gonna take your quirk and make myself stronger. Nah, it's gonna be the other way around. So now Deku goes to All for One, and he starts beating the living shit out of him. He activates. He does like a super risky. He's like instant regeneration, huh? And shock absorption. This is gonna fucking hurt. He basically goes to gear second like Luffy, right? Pumps blood super fast. Activates his whole hardening thing, his body manipulation. He activates All for One's quirk. He gets like 4 fucking arms on him. And better yet, not 4, 6 arms. Yeah, he's like Ashura now. He gets 6 arms, all hardened up. Max One for All. Max like the strength. Max fucking shock. There's max instant regen. Max electricity to make us all fast. And he just dashes that fucking off one. And he goes up to him and he just all three arms just smash, like all 3 of his left arms smash him. He goes behind him real quick, gets him with his right arm, hits him up in the air, does a spin move, takes his fucking axe, kicks him right in the fucking mask, down to his fucking, like, to the heel. It just slams him to the fucking ground. All for One's mask is fucked. Everything is fucked. All for One tries to hit him, but all of a sudden he gets lifted up in the air because he's now lightless. And now Deku's telekinesis quirk is working, and he takes him and he slams him down the ground. Like 300 times. He slams him. He punches him and he does like a Okuyasu with the hand. He punches him away, grabs him back, punches him again. And this is all really fast because he's lightless. All for One tries to do like an air cannon. But before he even thinks of doing that, Izuku smites him. He electrocutes the ground, and now and All for One's like, oh shit, he can't fucking move. He uses Black Whip and he grabs him, and he just whirls him around, and he pulls a Katakuri. He makes his arm big as shit, and just slams the fuck out of All for One. Just black and red lightning going everywhere. He slams the fuck out of him. All for One's, he's fucking dying, but he's getting like regenerating. He uses his tendrils, but Deku easily breaks the tendrils. He's going down there, and he uses his air quirk, and he smashes All for One. Like, he smashes him in the face. He takes his head, lifts it up, pushes him with his like air wave that he stole from the guy from fucking Shiketsu. And then he takes his water quirk, takes his blood, rips it out from the wounds that he got, so now All for One's bleeding is enhanced. Right? And what he does is he hardens it and he makes a blood blade. And he's like, I'm gonna kill your ass. And he goes to him, and he decides, he's like, you're gonna die with your own blood. And he just charges at him, smashes him, like fucking slicing him up and shit. Now, All For One's throwing down. He's like, oh, fuck. He launches like 3 air cannons at Izuku. Izuku's down in the ground, and then he starts beating the living shit out of him because he's pissed the fuck off. And, but Izuku, he races him at the last second, so now he can't do his shit. And then he stabs him with the bone, impales him, right? Because he catches him off guard. He gets back up. And then All For One tries to spin around and do him again, but he just goes, like, he hits him again, all around his body, breaking everything. And he's like, it's over. He goes up to him, and he like beat down, like he does like a Aura beat down from JoJo. He just fucking flings him. He starts beating the fucking shit at him, just barraging him. Like everyone's watching this. The military, they're in fucking shock at the power of Legion and All For One clashing. Like Deku gets so strong to the point that he hits All For One, sorry. Hits All For One with the last like blast, but it's like a shockwave. It's like Whitebeard's Tremor Fruit. It's like a Gura, like a shockwave. It doesn't make an earthquake, but it's like a large fucking explosion. It's like poof, like Saitama. He blows a hole through All For One, and his heart falls out, his liver falls out, his organs. All For One's trying to regenerate and shit like that, but he can't. Deku steps on his body, separates his limbs, and he takes him. He's like, finally, you're mine. And he steals All For One's quirk, along with every other quirk that he has. He's like, ah. And the thing is, this isn't this time, because he already has One For All, Deku becomes extremely evil already. He gets super strong. So it's not like a normal life Zerb. Nah. It's like a bio leech. If you guys ever played the game Infamous, like the first Infamous, when Cole McGrath get the Ray Sphere for the second time, when he has like the black and red lightning, when you go evil, and you do the bio leech, it's like that. You see everything absorb like into like his soul, like everything is gone, like just absorbing. So after that, Izuku's skin turns pale. You can see the black veins through his white skin and the black and red lightning, and he gets super evil. And now he has unlocked Ultimate All For One. Ultimate All For One. And at the same time, Deku, he's like, he smiles and he looks, because now he has all For One's quirks, including Float, which is not a Shimura's quirk. So he levitates up in the air like a god, and he sees all the military around him. And you know what he does? He uses all of his One For All power, all that, and launches a massive air cannon. Completely obliterates it, along with like cremation flames and lightning and shit like that. Completely obliterates everything in sight. Everyone's burnt to ash and dust due to due to a stronger version of cremation too, because of Endeavor's quirk is still there. And he just goes away and he's like, good. So I finally got Ultimate All For One. Good. 2 All For Ones together. And now absorbing vitality is easier too. How good. Now I can start my final motion. The final stage to my plan has begun. As he slowly flies away, because of he levitates in the air and he uses telekinesis and his lightless body to fly the fuck away. He's basically like Omni-Man when he flies. He combines most quirks, and he flies the fuck away. And that is the end of part 5.